Hey guys, this is Abhishek from gadgetstouse.com, and today we are going to do a quick comparison of these two phones. Even when these two phones are kind of different in terms of the price point, we are doing the comparison on the basis of RAM. So we have Asus ZenFone 2 which has 4GB of RAM, and we have Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge with us which has 3GB of RAM. So we are comparing these two devices on the basis of RAM, and this is for those who think that increasing the RAM on their smartphone can actually make a difference, and we are going to find out whether it does make the difference or it does not. So we have 4GB of RAM on this one and 3GB of RAM on this one, and all the application are killed, so there is nothing running in the background on this one, and there is nothing running in the background on this phone as well. So let's first of all take a look over the current status of the RAM on both of these two phones. First of all, we will take a look over the application scenario on the ZenFone 2 which has 4GB of RAM, and this is the top end variant, and you have 2.3GB of RAM free as of now out of 4GB on the Asus ZenFone 2. Now let's take a look over the scenario which we have on the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. So we will take a look over the application scenario over here as well, and here we have the application over here, and let me just take a look over the application manager, and we will find out the current status of the RAM over here as well. So we have 3GB of RAM, and out of that approximately 1GB of RAM is free. So this much of RAM is being used by application and the system, and we have 1GB of RAM free on this one. And this device over here has 2.3GB of RAM free. So the amount of free RAM which is there on the Asus ZenFone 2 is almost double or more than double of what you get as a free RAM on the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. So let's find out whether this actually gives you an additional advantage or not. So we will do some benchmark tests on both of these devices. We will run them together at the same time, and let's see which one performs faster and which one is able to complete these tests faster and score better. So we will run Entity 2 first of all. So Entity 2 is running right now at the same time on both of them, and we are going to start this test at the same time on both of these devices. Now you might have noticed that the benchmark test got completed faster over here on the Asus ZenFone 2 with 4GB of RAM, and the score which we have got over here is 47478, and the score which we have got on the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge is, let me just show you that as well, and we have got a bigger score over here which is 67781. So in terms of benchmark score, this one is higher, but the speed at which the benchmark test got completed was faster over here on the ZenFone 2 with 4GB of RAM. Now let's do the Ninamark test now. Now we have already run the Ninamark benchmark test earlier on both of these devices once. This is the second time when we are going to run this benchmark test. So let's start with the test, and we will start it at the same time on both of these devices. So let me just start it. So it is almost a tie in between these two devices, I would say, because both of them almost got the test completed at the same amount of time. There was very negligible difference. Now here we have the third benchmark utility which is called Quadrant Standard, and we have not run this utility as a benchmark test on any of these two devices. We will run this right now in front of you, and we are going to run full benchmark, and let's see which one runs the benchmark faster and completes it faster. So let me just tap over here. And I can easily see the difference. Over here we have got a score of 38081 on the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge, and on ASUS ZenFone 2 with 4GB RAM we have got a benchmark score of 23112, which is lower than the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. When it comes to application, the application which actually uses a lot of CPU and GPU or RAM on any smartphone is going to be the gaming application. So we are going to run the same game on both of these phones and we will see which one runs that faster and which one is more responsive. So we have Subway Surfer loaded over here, we have Subway Server loaded over here. None of these devices are running this game in the background, so let me just kill everything in the background so that the performance is tested in the same way on both of these two phones. So we have Subway Surfer over here and we have it over here, and let me just tap both of them at the same time. And looks like the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge is going to load this game faster, and it have done that. Let me just start playing it. So we have started playing this game over here on the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge, whereas over here it is still loading. Now we have started playing it here as well. So in terms of the overall load time, definitely S6 Edge loads this game faster than the ZenFone 2 with 4GB RAM. Now let's try doing a browser test, and we will load the same website on both of these phones, and we need to launch the browser for that. So we have launched the browser and the same website is getting loaded, and it is faster over here. This is a mobile responsive website, which is our website, and it has loaded on this one as compared to the ZenFone 2 with 4GB of RAM, which is still loading this website. So I would say in normal day-to-day usage and scenarios, especially unless you do high-end processing on your phone, which involves playing high definition games like 3 to 4 high definition games in the background, 4GB of RAM does not make much of a difference, because for day-to-day usage 3GB of RAM or even 2GB of RAM phone can actually give you the kind of performance you need, give you the kind of responsiveness you need in the UI, provided the phone has a pretty good UI and it is optimized to that extent. When it comes to 4GB of RAM, 4GB of RAM on a device like ASUS ZenFone 2 can give you a lot of power, especially in scenarios when you are playing high definition games, when you are actually watching a movie and you are actually using the full capabilities of your device. 4GB of RAM actually makes the difference only when the case is when you are using your smartphone like a PC. That means you are running a high definition game in the background, you are watching a high definition video, or you are running a benchmark at the same time, and then you are also trying to browse web at the same time, and you are launching camera application at the same time, and all these kind of applications are actually running at the same time on a smartphone, which is kind of a usage which a normal user won't do at the same time. But when it comes to the normal usage, both of these phones were almost close to each other. There were times when a game loaded better over here, there was a time when the overall benchmark got completed faster over here, but that does not mean that this device is faster and this device is slow. It all boils down to what your usage is. So 4GB RAM or 2GB of RAM or 3GB of RAM, all of them actually give you almost the same kind of performance when it comes to day-to-day usage or normal usage scenarios from a consumer. So this is all we have as far as the quick comparison of the ZenFone 2, which has 4GB of RAM, compared with the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge, which has 3GB of RAM. So do let us know if you have any specific question for these devices. We would love to help you. You can like this video if this video helped you by clicking the like button below. You can subscribe to our YouTube video channel for more videos like this by clicking the subscribe button below. Thanks for watching this video. This is Abhishek signing off. Thank you.